Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ajilan here. Thank you so much for coming back and happy new year to everyone. If you're new to my channel, you're welcome. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that I get to know anytime I post new videos. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show us how to make this gorgeous baptism dress for a little girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Alright, here are the things I'll be using for this project. I have my half yard of sequins here, and for my satin I am working with 1 yard. This is 1 yard of satin, and this is my lining. I am working with a cotton lining. This is 1 yard as well. Okay, and I have my soft net. Here I have 4 yards. And this is the hard net. It's not up to half yard because I want to add a very little hard net to this dress. So here I have not up to half yard. Okay, so I'm going to keep all this aside so we can draft out the sleeve. As you can see from the thumbnail, it's a long sleeve, so we need to draft that out, and it's going to be a bubble sleeve as well. So here I have my basic bodies. As you can see, I just drafted that out, and if you want to see how to go about this, you can check out my video on how to draft the basic bodies, and you get to see detail on how to go about drafting this. So now for this upper part, which is the bodice part, I'll be marking out the part that's going to be the yoke. As you can see from the thumbnail, it's a yoke dress. So for me to do that, it's just very easy. From this chest line, I will just place my ruler. Okay, you can decide how small you want the yoke part to be. Okay, so for me, I'll be making it very small because this is going to be for a 6-month-old. Remember, it's a baptism dress, so I'm going to make it very small. Okay, so this is how you can just use your free hand and just, curve it this way. It's as easy and simple as that. Okay, so this part is going to be the yoke, and this is the other side that is going to be my sequin. Now when you cut out, before cutting on your fabric, make sure to add your sewing allowance just here. Okay, so I'm going to keep this aside so we can draft out the sleeve. Now the sleeve length is the sleeve length is 10 inches. Remember that I'm going to be adding a band, so I'll just make the band 2 inches. So the sleeve length is going to be 8. Since the band is 2 inches, that is going to make it 10. But on this pattern, I'm going to mark out 8 inches plus my ½ an inch for sewing allowance, making it 8.5. Okay, so now the arm side measurement is 3.5, which is here. In case you don't know how to go about this, it's very easy. Just take your pattern and check what you have from this shoulder slope to the chest line. Okay, this is how to go about getting your arm side measurement. So this is 3.5. So that is the point here. Okay, so now the next thing to mark out now is the round, that is the bicep measurement, which is round the bicep measurement. It is 6 inches. So I'm going to place, this is my center line. As you can see, let me just mark it out. So this is the center line. Okay, on this bicep measurement, I'll just mark out the 6. As you can see, I am placing the 3, which is half, on this center line, and then you mark. Okay, now the wrist part is 4 inches. Okay, you place your tape. The 2, as you can see, is at the midpoint, and you just note that. After which you're going to connect, and you can see that it's very easy to draft your sleeve. Okay, if you want a short sleeve, it's same method. All you need to do is to reduce the length. Okay, so I'm going to connect this now this way. Okay, so after doing this now, we are going to bring these parts down. Okay, I'll just connect this part as well. Remember, this measurement is for a 6-month old. Okay. All right, after connecting this, we are going to check what we have here and then divide that into 4. Okay, so here I have 4. This is 4 3/4. So I'll need to divide that into 4. So I'm going to fold my tape, as you can see. All right, and then on this point I'll just fold it again. Okay, you can also use your calculator, but for me this is the easiest and fastest way to divide. So this is the point, I'll just note it. This is the second one, and then this is the third one. So as you can see, I just divided up this line into 4. Okay, so now on this first one we are going to go in this first line here. We are going to go in by 1/4 inch, which is here. Okay, and on this other point here, the one that is close to this part, I'm going to go, I'll just come out. Okay, this time you just take it out, not inward, by 1/4 inch. Okay, then you connect. As you can see, I'll just, from this point now, I'll just move it. Okay, and connect. Then you take it out again to meet up with this one here. Okay, and then we'll take it up again to meet up at this edge. I hope you can see. So this is the front. Now I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to divide this other side as well. So I'm just following the point to mark. Okay, now this is the point for this other side. All right, so here now I'm going to do the same here. This is 1/4 inch, and for this one I will also use half. Okay, this part I'm going to use half, not 1/4 inch, and then we connect. I also have a detailed video on how to go about drafting a basic sleeve. I'm going to drop the link in the description box so you can check that out. All right, so this is the back and this is the front. Okay, now the next thing to do is to add my 1/4 inch for my sewing allowance all round. Okay, I'm going to quickly do that, and the sleeve is ready. Okay, so after doing this now, I am going to use the slash and spread method to get the bubble. Remember I said that on the wrist part we are going to be making it bubble. All right, so I'm going to use the slash and spread method to do that. So before we continue, let me cut this out. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. Like I said, I'm going to use the slash and spread method. So I am going to open it up at the center as I am doing it, and I'll cut it through this other side. Then I'm going to place it on another pattern paper. Okay, so we can just open up these legs this way. Okay, so we can have enough space to use to create the ruffles on this other side. So I have this paper here which I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll just place it over this way. Okay, it's very easy. So here you decide how, that is the volume that you want your ruffles to be. You decide it on this part. If you want enough, you can go ahead and extend it more. Okay, it's going to give you space to create more ruffles. Okay, so I'm going to go with what I have here. I'll just easily use my pen to connect. Alright, this is what I have after cutting it all out. As you can see, this is the front and this is the lining. So right now we are going to start sewing before cutting the lower part. Okay, so this is the sleeve. Later I'm going to cut out the band. So the first thing to do now is to take this part, and as you can see, I use my satin on this because this sequence is transparent, so you need to line it. So I'm going to join this now. Okay, so I'll just keep it this way and then join it together, and I'll repeat the same on the lining. Okay, and on the back side as well, this is how I cut the back. Okay, so this is how I want it to be. Alright, so I'll go ahead and also join it together with the other side, and I'll repeat the same on the lining. So let me just quickly take this and do all the joining so we can continue. Alright, this is what I have after joining it together with the yoke, and this is the one for the back. So for this place now, I am going to use my beads to close it up. And here I also have, this is a very long strip that I just cut out. It's like up to 3 yards. So this is going to be on the neck side. That is the ruffle. Remember that this dress is like is a tutu neck dress, but my own, I extended the neck so that it will not be too tight for the baby. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. I'll just pull this until I have the round the neck circumference. So before joining it, I'm going to join the shoulders first. Okay, after joining the shoulder, I will now turn it over and then take this and join it all the way round the neckline. Okay, that is after gathering it together. So I'm going to keep this aside. Before joining this, I'm going to cut out my satin. Okay, if you're a returning subscriber, you should be familiar with how to cut out these parts that I'm going to do now. So as you can see, my satin is already on fold, and I am using the half circle method to cut out my satin. Okay, so the waist measurement is 21. It's 20, but 1 inch is for the zipper allowance, making it 21. So you're going to divide that by 3.14 and it will give me 6.5. But I'm going to mark out 6 first, because sometimes if you mark out exactly what your calculation gave you, at the end of the day it might be too wide. So I'm going to mark out 6 first all the way around, and then check if it's going to give me the waist measurement. Okay, so this is the 6 here. I will just connect, and then I'm going to cut it out. So for the length, I'll be making this 11 inches, or rather I'll make it 12 inches. I want it to be a little long, so I'm going to make it 12 inches. By the time you finish hemming it, it's going to be like 10.5 or 11 inches. So I'll just mark out 12 all the way around and then cut it out. So I'm going to sew in my net on this part. Okay, so this is it. I'll just cut it out and then sew my net. For the net, I'm going to make it just 2 layers inside because I'm working with 3 yards. Okay, so let me just cut this out. All right, this is where we are so far. I just finished sewing the lower part, as you can see, and here I have the upper part almost ready. Now you can see that I've added my lining, but the lining, I just joined it together with this. I didn't turn it over because we are going to add a band to this neckline. You know, this dress is a yoke dress, so here I have the little band I'll be using. This is 2 inches, and before cutting out, you need to measure what you have here. Here I have 10 3/4, and that is what I have here. This is 10 3/4 by 2 inches. This is what I'm going to be using to close up these parts. So after closing it, I'm going to use my bead to close the line here so that it will not be visible. Okay, so I'll quickly join this and then close the sides so we can add the sleeve together with the band. So this is what I have after joining it. Okay, this is the neck that I said earlier. I used the band to join it. I'm going to use my bead to close up this line. Okay, and as you can see, I added the lower part already together with the lining. So this is how the back side looks, and I also added the hard net. I said I'll be adding a little hard net to this, and this is it. So all that is left now is for me to add the sleeve. So this is the sleeve. Like I said earlier, I'm going to use my gather stitch on this hem part of the sleeve, and then use this band to join it. Okay, it's as easy, as simple as that. Just join it same way you make a bubble sleeve. So after joining it, I'll just add it to the dress and then close the back side and add my zipper, and that is how to go about making this beautiful dress. Okay, and I hope you were able to grab 1 or 2 things from today's tutorial. So that is it for today. Please subscribe if you have not, and I will see you all soon.